Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Exciting things are happening. This is the Just Flight Hawk T1 version 2. That's right. This aircraft really launched the channel, and it's also one that I've flown in real life. But this is a version 2 of the Just Flight Hawk T1 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 and 2020. Lots of good stuff happening. The most important things you need to know is the flight dynamics of this aircraft are now very good. You can spin it, which we're going to, and the trim is a lot easier. It's just a much more stable platform and a joy to fly. I'm biased, yeah, I know, I get that. Conflict of interest a little bit. However, it is very good. Also, you get bombs and missiles that drop and fire. Oh yes, that's what we're going to do in this video. So you have a sidewinder. You also have the 9 kilo bombs in the CBLS. Underneath there is a gun pod. Now at the time of recording this video, it is a pre-release first look. Things may change. Make sure you check the Just Flight social media and product page for the latest information on what this aircraft is capable of. But at the moment, I don't think the rockets that are available or the gun fires, okay, so worth bearing in mind. But overall, look at this thing, it's absolutely stunning. In this video, we're going to take this aircraft from Cardiff, we're going to fly it over to Pembrey, we're going to fire the missiles on the way, we're going to go inbound for a low-level laydown with the bombs. I know they're 7 kilo bombs, so technically you shouldn't really do that, but we're going to do that. We're then going to stay and play maybe a shallow angle dive bomb attack and a strafe attack just for funsies. Then we'll do a little bit of low level, then we'll come back here via medium level, do some spinning, and then we'll land it back here via an overhead approach. Yeah, that's something I don't often do. Depending on the cloud base, we'll make it work, but look at those clouds, they look really nice too. So I can't get over how good this cockpit looks. It's so familiar to me, it's unbelievable. I've flown many hours in this thing as a student. And I love the fact it's old school, so you don't have lots of menus in the computer subsystems. It's just those are your instrumentations. You've got some switches for the radio and the squawk, and the rest is just about pure flying of the aircraft, which I love. EFB has had a significant upgrade. If you want, you've got various bits and pieces in here that you can dive into. I'm not going to this time round. This is the main page you want because this is where you put your weapons on. You also have the captive air-to-air missile, I believe, Matra. Missiles, I don't think they fly at the time of recording this video. Gun pod also doesn't work, I don't think, but you can put it on there for looks. Display tanks and external tanks, so lots of stuff in there. You'll notice that it says it's red because it's overweight. Yes, it's very easy to overload this aircraft, but it'll be fine. All right, we'll keep it loaded. It's fine. I've already removed the covers and flags and the steps. The chocks are in there, and that's all we need. So I'm going to start this aircraft up quick and dirty. I may miss things, we'll just deal with it as we go. If you want to follow the checklist, there is a checklist system in the EFB as well. Let's get rid of that. If you find you can't start the engine, by the way, I keep forgetting this LP cock is down here. That should be all the way down. And you also need to make sure everything's safe in here, I guess. So you've now got the option to remove your seat pins, and there's also a pin for the MDC canopy detonation up there, which we'll do once we lower the canopy and we get going. So let's start her up. Put some batteries on. Got some lights. You can test lights and do all that stuff if you want. Dig into the detail as much as you like, but we're not going to do that this time round. Put the radio on. There's a radio button down here. I don't know if the two are linked or whether it's two radios. I think it's the same radio, but maybe a digital backup. So we've got that switched on. We can pretend to talk as we want to here. The weapon panels, I'll teach you those later. I'm going to put this to slave now so that once the engine started and the generator is online, all of this will come to life. If you want to check the lights, there you go, there's a light check. Thanks very much. That'll do. Nav light can go on because we're in the cockpit. And we'll put the anti-cols on prior to start. We can put some lights on in the cockpit as well. They're good lighting. I'm not going to do night lighting this time around, but suffice to say it's all good stuff. Transponder down here, that can all stay off. Oxygen can come on, and we'll put this to normal. That's it. That's pretty much it. So we'll start this thing up. So in the back seat, we've done all the switches in the back. We'll put the fuel pump. I'm also going to put the pitot heat on because I'll forget it otherwise. I'm going to switch the engine start switch to on, and I'm going to press the igniter button here. What I should do is lower the canopy, but I like the fact you can hear the noises in the background. I think that's the locked position. So the GTS is firing up, and what you'll find is this goes green after a few seconds. The GTS is like an APU, but it doesn't provide power to the aircraft. It only provides the rotation of the main engine. So there we go, GTS is on, and then we just click this start switch to start. You get rotation. You see the RPM of the engine winding up. Once that gets to 15%, put the anti-colt to red as well. 15% near enough, click the base of the throttle, that'll put it out of HP shutoff and into the idle position, and the engine will start. Oh my goodness, that startup noise gave me goosebumps. It really did sound brilliant. That bass note as it really winds up. Love it, absolutely love it. Right, the engine's starting itself up, so that's cool. The canopy's down, so I can remove the pins. I'm going to do that now because I'll forget. Again, you might do it just prior to taxi. So that's the seat pin, and over the right-hand side, that's the deck cord handle. Oh, it's this one. It's not this one. Yeah, it's over here. Right, the engine's started. You'll see hide 2 is on, so you can reset the hide. You can see that's now winding up. Once that gets back up to pressure, that hide 2 will disappear. And it's normally a pre-taxi or taxi check. I can put the anti-skid on, and all those cautions warnings are out, which is cool. Let's have a look around. Anything else I need to turn on? We can put the transponder on. I'll put it to norm now. I know I'm doing everything a little bit out of order, but it's fine. It's fine. ILS or VOR here. TACAN is already set up here. Transponder I've put on. Radio's there with whatever you want to do with it. And ta-da! That's kind of it. We can change the altimeter. I'm going to put it to a QFE so it's 0 on the altimeter. Tidy, reset the G meter. You can see that all the instruments have caged themselves. I'm going to change this to 300 because we're coming back to Cardiff, so that's roughly it. I think it's also 1175. Of note, whilst I'm here, the 1 is hard-coded in. So this is actually the 10s and the 0s, the units. And here is the 7 and the 5. 7, 5. I think that should give us Cardiff. We'll see. If it doesn't matter. We're not going to use it. Right, taxi light on. And let's get out of here. I've probably forgotten something. Ah, flaps. I always bloody forget the flaps. Flap gauge here. There we go. Got some flaps. Love it. And the GPS. I told you we'd forget stuff. Look at that dark cloud. That's so cool. Unbelievably cool. I put the map on. For some reason it didn't pull the flight plan over to the GPS, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Because all we're going to do is fly across to here, and this is where Pembrey is. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, taxi lights on. I'm going to shove the anti-coals on. I was trying to taxi straight. Anti-coals to whites. Yes, there we go. For takeoff, I'm also going to set the mast to live. Yes, I know I'm doing it a little bit early, but we'll just get ahead of it. You'll notice when I move the mass that the bus bars show black, which means they're active, they're energized. You can jettison weapons. Keybinds, by the way, keybinds. I'll probably say that a couple of times, but keybinds are available in the manual. I won't state what they are now because they may change, but I promise you they are in the manual. So we've got mass, we've got 2 pins, seats live, canopies live. We've got IFF to norm, that'll do. We've got flaps, we've got lights, and we've got pitot. Caution warnings are clear, and we'll just say we're good for takeoff. Let's go do some of that. Now we're very heavy. Normally it's about 90 knots for rotate, 110, 120 for unstick. Apologies for track IR as well. Ooh, it keeps jumping and it's annoying the hell out of me. Look at those shadows. Look at that. Ah, the one thing I did miss is the gun sight. So let's quickly move that to GA. I'm not going to play with this panel, but if you put it GA, you get a pipper there. That'll do. That'll do. Okay, let's go. Okay, temperatures are good. Keeping straight with the rudder. Looking for 90 knots. Rotate. We're a bit heavy, so I'm expecting it to be sluggish. Come on. Come on. There we go. Right. About 7 degrees nose up. Gear coming up. Flap coming up. That is awesome. Awesome. Absolutely cool as. Right, heading in this direction, that's exactly what we want to do. Don't want to keep the nose low enough to keep 300 knots. There we go, speed's increasing. We're all good. We are all good. After takeoff checks, gears up, flaps up. Nothing else I really need. So we'll climb up maybe above this cloud. We'll have a look. And the first thing is the missiles. So, to set the missiles, to fire them, you'd at least need the master live, which we have. On the left hand side, this is the missile panel. You can select the coolant to on. Now I think they'll fire without the coolant. And then you go air to air mode select. And then, there we go. Maybe I just pansy pressed it. And it selects the port side. You click it again for the right side, and then you click it again to deselect. So you can select which pylon it'll launch from. So let's do that. Oh, that's so cool. And it'd be nice if there's a little whoosh as it disappeared off. And I don't know how smokeless the AIM-9 is, but you know what? That's pretty cool. That's satisfaction. Now, you'll see that the light's gone out because we've got no missile on the left anymore. We'll select the right, so starboard is now selected, good to go. And we'll do this one from inside, shall we? Awesome. Awesome. Right, navigation, here we go. So we are heading over to Worm's Head, or is that Worm's Head? Can't remember. We're going to go to this point, and then Pembrey Range is here. We'll do a couple of patterns, and then head on to low level, and then back to Cardiff. That is the plan. Alright, we have skipped forwards to get ready for our low level laydown from about 150 to 200 feet above the sea. It's going to be a lot of fun. We need to set ourselves up for that. So let's get on with it. We're going to check PB on the weapon select. We've got mass live, so our bus bars are showing live, i.e. black. If you select both pylons will drop. I'm going to select the left, it's showing green. Now in this implementation of the drop logic, it will drop all 4 bomblets, where I don't think that's realistic. I think it's one at a time unless you jettison them. But it is what it is, and we'll work with it. If you want to fire, in fact, if you wanted to fire the missile, I think it's the trigger as well, and that's the stick top. That shows you the trigger is live. This is for the bomb release. So you need those 2 switches. Now you don't need them, they won't stop you from firing if you've got them keybound and whatnot. But if you want to be thorough, that's what you want to do. So I'm going to uncover that now because I'm not going to be clicking that with the mouse whilst I'm flying along. And we are now good to release our bombs. Pembrey Range is here, so that's where we're going to head, which is over there, and you can just about see the target area. The other thing I'm not doing in detail is the depressions and the drift angle. There's lots of calculations. I mean, there's so many calculations because this aircraft doesn't do it for you. you have to put in, it's like being a sniper, you have to put in all the windage and elevations and all that stuff. Then you get a basic Pipper representation, and you and then you hope it works out. So we are down through 1400 feet, we're aiming for at least 200 feet. We're going to try and, well, I'm going to draw the Pipper towards the bomb circle because they're 7 kilo bombs, not 4 kilo, no, 3 kilo bombs. The 3 kilo are the retard weapons, as in what you should be using. The 7 kilos are more for lofting or medium level releases. So we've got the wrong bomb type, I think, but it doesn't matter. All we want to do is see these bombs come off. We're 1,000 feet. Through 400 feet. 300 feet. Good enough. We're not going to be quite low enough, but that's fine. There's the bomb circle. Bombs away. That's so cool. Very cool. Now, with the implementation they have on the bombs falling away, it's aligned to the vertical line through the aircraft. So if you bank whilst you've dropped your bombs and you can still see them, they'll move as well. So it's not perfect, nor would I expect it to be. But it's good enough for some fun, that's for sure. Okay, we are going to release the other bombs in a shallow angle dive onto that dive circle. So we're going to deselect the port side, select the starboard side, and then just peel it around and have a go. That's cool. Right, let's do it. Pull it around the corner. Don't judge me, it's not perfect, it'll do. Oh, they're climbing. And off they go. That'll do. Right. Bombs are all released. Bombs deselected. Gun is armed. And let's do a quick pattern. Back around to the strafe targets. So if you want to do it yourself, you've got an idea of what you can do. This isn't perfect, it's not per the Acco arrows and the range patterns and all that, but it'll give you an idea. I did a lot of Pembrey range action in the G91 aircraft, so if you want to see that, it's a little bit more detailed. I think it might have been a bit more precise with actual details to that, so check out the G91 video if you're interested. But we have the gun selected, the mast is still live. We're going to cover up that, we're going to put the stick top to live. Ordinarily you can fly out to the end of this forest, then you take a left and go down towards the top end of this airfield, and then you're looking for your angle in. So try and achieve a decent line of attack and a decent strafe angle of about 8 degrees. But the gun pod doesn't fire. Just Flight, dear Just Flight, please make the gun pod fire. So cool. We can jettison as well, let's do that whilst we're here. And off it goes. Off it goes. Right, over the airfield. There's our targets over there. Look at those shadows. Looks fantastic. I still remember the smell of cordite in the cockpit from firing the gun down at Pembrey Range. Oh yes, lots of fun had. Okay, looking at the target, 90 degrees off. Pull it around the corner. I'm going to be off angle for the line of attack, but that's, I mean, it's a sim. Having some fun here. Get the Pipper on the target. Get it on the target. And firing. Bit of a bunt into it, to be honest. My technique is poor. Off target, and we're done. That is Pembrey Range complete. We'll do some low level and then we'll spin this sucker. Stick top safe. Mast safe. gun deselected. Alright, 420 knots is what we want. This aircraft is flying beautifully, it really is. I'm not having to fight it, I'm not having to fight the trim, it's nice and stable. Pitch and power equals performance. It is all there, it's a complete package again. No radar altimeter in a Hawk T1, so you have to eyeball it. Watch out for the power lines, lots of them. And I think it's a 4G nav turn, I think. I think the Tucano is 2G, I think the Hawk is 4G. 420 knots is about 92% RPM, so keep it stable and your speed should be stable as well. And I've done loads of videos where I've flown low level from Leaming down to Bristol. I've done high to low Scotland, landing it in Inverness. I've done the Lake District. Had a lot of fun in this model. Lots of fun. But I know Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 had a rough start to it. But it is looking good. And it's behaving itself. It's performing nicely. And now the Hawk T1 is here. I'm a happy chappy. Oh yes. Well, I don't want to spend too much time in low level because you've seen enough of those videos from me. I will take it through the Mac loop eventually again, I think, for old time's sake. But let's go and do some spinning. So here is the handling characteristics demo of the Hawk T1. We've got some nice clouds, we'll do some max rate turns, we'll stall it, we'll spin it, we'll throw it upside down, show you what it does, but it is beautiful. So we are doing a 6G pull around this cloud. We're up at 8,000 feet, I'm climbing a little bit, which is bad, I shouldn't be climbing. About 400 knots. That's not me grunting in the background. Alright, we're 200 knots now. Beforehand, when you try to spin it, it would be uncontrollable to do some crazy Ivan, and that'd be the end of your sortie. This time you can spin it. So we're 150 knots. Pitch the nose up. You're to the left, idle. I'm not doing any roll. And you can see it's doing kind of like an intermittent spin, which is beautiful. I like it. Not a lot of yaw, but a bit there. But it is spinning. That is spinning. Look at, I mean, look at it. Look at it go. It's doing it. Right, opposite rudder, centralized controls, centralized rudder, roll to the nearest, and recover. Wow. That is impressive. You could not do that with the old version. But you can do more. Oh yes. You can do inverted spinning. So let's do some of that, shall we? Same difference, except instead of pulling full backstick, you push full forwards. There we go. Approaching 150 knots. I'm going to go upside down. Centralize. Push. Right rudder. And there she goes. No aileron input, she is just spinning. Upside down spinning. Not a lot of yaw, but it's definitely a spin. Yes. Oh, and I love the fact it speeds up and slows down. Very cool indeed. Right, rudder, central, central. 3,000 feet. Am I going to make it? I'm going to make it. We're going to do it. Yeah. Oh, very fun, very fun. Right, where's Cardiff? So we're going to go back for an overhead approach, something I don't often do, you don't often see, but we'll see what we can do. See what the trim handles like, what the aircraft handles like, and that'll be it. Okay, overhead join back at Cardiff. I want to land on runway 30. GPS suggests it's down to my right 1 o'clock. There it is. Runway 30 I've lined up on my course bar, so that makes sense. We're going to land on 30. So for an overhead join, I want to go overhead the in-use threshold at, well, I'm going to go for 2,000 feet. Lower down to 1,000 feet, passing the upwind threshold, and then turn downwind for your normal circuit. I want to be at 250 knots as I start this, and 90 degrees off to the runway direction. I'm not following anything due process. I'm making it up, seeing what works, using my previous experience, and we'll just we'll go for it. 3,000 feet. Now the elevation of this airfield, I think, is about 200 feet, so I might end up adding a couple of hundred feet onto the altitude, so I end up having my 2,000 feet above ground level. Okay, trim, 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 trim. Trim is good. Trim is lovely. There we go. Airfield. Descending down, constant arc and turn, looking out for any circuit traffic, listening out to the radio, all that good stuff. Down to 1,200 feet. Pulling quite hard actually because we're in a fast jet. It doesn't like to turn around the corner very well. I'll keep that speed under control. Looks all right. 1,600 feet. Make sure that we are aware of anyone taking off. If there's anyone taking off, then we'll get out of the way. But we're good at the moment. All right. A little bit of separation required so that I can get down to a decent separation from the runway. That looks about right. 1,400 feet. Okay, a bit high. Maybe a little bit wide, but you know what? Wide with pride. Wide with pride. I can't remember the speeds either, so we'll just hope these are about right. Gear flap. Nice. About 88%. Should work. Gear flap mid. Flap down. I am definitely wide. But I haven't practiced it. Gear down, flap down. This is a no practice attempt. I'm still quite heavy, so I want no less than maybe 150 knots in the final turn, I think. Happies, one red. Oh, look at that bridge. Look how pretty that is. That's amazing. Love it. Love it. Love it. Don't distract myself. Look, I've distracted myself. Get back down to the runway, Chris. One red. Two reds. Okay, toes are clear. Speed's good. Idle. Check. Check. Yes, we're down. We're still pretty fast. I kept some speed on because I thought we were heavyweight, but it's going to make me a bit squirrely if I lift the nose for aero braking. So I'm going to put the nose down. I don't think you aero brake in the Hawk. I can't remember. Nose is down. And that's the end of the sortie, so I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, and the visuals are exceptional. The Hawk itself is the star of the show, but absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Thanks for watching. Till the next time, take care.